I had to blink exactly once when I took that thumbnail. Patrick, oh my gosh, you're live without alcohol? Yeah, I am capable. So I'm using my laptop today. I don't even know. I mean, the angle is slightly different because the angle is different, but I don't know. Besides that, if you can tell, also not too sure what the audio sounds like. Um, so yeah, the last time I tried to go live, that was a bust, right? Twice. I'm like, why? And then the second time, like, I didn't even lose connection. It just stopped working. So we'll see if today works. So it's Scorpio season. Uh Hold up. I'm not wearing my glasses. This is gonna make this a Bluetooth. Cho Samuina. What does that mean? It is not cold. Where is my drool emoji? I ate so much food. Everybody's gonna be alright. Do 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 do. Everybody have fun tonight. Okay, I don't know what deck I'm gonna use, but it's Scorpio season. Hey Holly, how you doing? It's 4:44 there. It is 8:44 here. I think what did I see today? I did see 444 somewhere. Whoo! 555. I felt like I saw that. I've been seeing that a lot lately. It's got me a little spooked. If I'm being honest. Well, first it kind of did, but then it didn't. So we'll see. It's Scorpio season, which means that we're going to do that thing that I love to do when the seasons change, which is to pull 3 cards for the conclusion of the last season, 1 card for how the season is beginning, and then 3 cards for what the season has to offer overall. Libra season started like the first thing that Libra season was introducing was the 3 of Swords, which was odd at the time, but Libra season was I don't even know what Libra season was, honestly. I have no clue. It was 4:44 there today. It was maybe like diesel, but the regular unleaded was, well, we I went to town with my mom today, and she was like, it's gonna be like really cheap at this place. So it was like 323 there. I'm gonna use the Spirit Keeper's Tarot because it's here. And I kind of want to use maybe the Dreams of Gaia. Let's see. Heads, I use the Spirit Keeper's Tarot Revelations edition. Tails, I use something else. Hey Google, flip a coin.
It landed on tails.
Tails, we're using something else. Heads, I use Dreams of Gaia Tarot. Tails, I use something else. Hey Google, flip a coin.
You got heads.
Yep. I picked up the SKT and then I was like, ooh, Dreams of Gaia. Love it. So, everybody have fun tonight. All right. Enough of that. We are here today. Dearly beloved. Is that a wedding or is that a funeral? No, that's a wedding. We are here today to celebrate the whoever of whatever. Weddings on the brain, apparently. I told y'all I was kind of half joking, half serious, saying it sort of with a fair amount of irreverence. I'm thirsty. I don't have a drink here. Like I'm not, and I'm not. I don't even know if that made sense. I don't know if like I'm thirsty or now I'm just used to having like it's become a habit to have something to drink. But I had a glass of water at dinner. Honestly, I'm not hydrating like I should be, and it's a water season, so I'm gonna go grab some water and I'll be right back. See, this is why I ended up using OBS instead of not using OBS because I could do this. I could have a please wait. We'll be back momentarily, but that sounds like effort. Everybody's somewhere. Everybody have fun. I need I need to wash these dishes. Necesito lavarse. No, necesito. Maybe necesito lavar estos platos. Necesito lavar estos platos. I need to wash these dishes. I wonder if I can. This is area. Now we've moved on to Camp Rock. I'm interested to see what comes out. I'm very interested. Very, very interested. Color me interested because I am. All right. Yeah, Libra season was I don't know. Like Libra season honestly was wild. Like it was just like duality. I feel like dichotomy is the word that comes to my mind, but honestly, let's see. Hey Google, define dichotomy.
Here's the definition of dichotomy: a division or contrast between two things that are represented as being opposed or entirely different.
Yeah, the dichotomy of it all was very dichotomous, if you will. It's just I don't know. It was. You think you drink too much water? Oh, hey Janelle, how you doing? Mike, I feel like I drink a fair amount while I'm at work, but then I don't know. And when I'm not at work, my water intake has been horrible because I always have like teas. So I've been drinking a lot of tea, but not like brewed tea. I've been drinking a lot of canned Arizona sweet tea, like the green tea with ginseng. You know, I feel better if it was brewed. All right. So let's do this first. How are y'all doing? My hopes are high for honestly, I don't know. My hopes are high for Scorpio season, but there's a little bit of trepidation. It's just like I don't know. It's big, I don't know energy. This is hilarious. That's less hilarious. Thought number 18 and Did you know? Okay, I haven't tried every single number, but something that I discovered today because I forget. It's like if you add, and again, this could not necessarily be true for universally, but I dabbled a little bit. If you add any three consecutive numbers, it gives you a three, a six, or a nine. Like 2, 3, 4. 2 plus 3 is 5 plus 4 is 9. 10, 11, 12 was like, what, 33? And then let's see. Hey, Google, what is 141 plus 142 plus 143?
141 plus 142 plus 143 is 426.
426. That's a 6, 6, 12, which is a 3. I mean, it's probably not breaking news, but I was like, wow, interesting. The cards that came out are Thought and the Five of Water. The Five of Water, maybe it didn't. Maybe it's that golden energy again. That Thought is interesting though, because I don't know. I went to town with my mom today, like I said. And on the way there, I was just like mostly in my thoughts. I was just thinking, like, wow, if you add up three sequential numbers, it seems to always add up to 369. And again, the sampling size was not tremendous, but for what I did, I was like, oh, or it reduces to a 3, 6, or 9. Anyway, let's clear the line. What's wrong with me? It's fine. Oh gosh. I don't know. It's just like things feel weird in a not bad way. It's almost like the calm before the storm, but if it was like a really good storm, like a good tower, like the floodgates are about to be open type of storm, like a floodgate of blessings, right? Open the floodgates of heaven, let it rain. I don't know. It's not unnerving. It's like when your skin crawls a little bit, but not in a creepy way. It's just like, oh. Anyway. I did not, unfortunately. I was wearing a lot of black and white today and gray. Shades of gray. I wore this shirt with black and white flannel with heather and charcoal gray. And then I wore my black and white gray camo Crocs and some blue jeans. Excuse me. Speaking of dichotomy and duality and polarity. Also, I don't know. I'm kind of curious if anyone else is, because I don't know if I'm on I looked at where Saturn was yesterday and I'm like, oh my gosh, this retrograde 0 degrees Pisces. Is it going to cross into Aquarius again? I don't think it's supposed to, but it's like Saturn is pressing on Aquarius at 0 degrees Pisces. Pluto's going to be pressing on Aquarius as it's as it's prograding, like back through Capricorn to re-enter Aquarius. Like that's that makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense. That makes so much sense. But that's the area also because like Aquarius for me, that's my Saturn. But the house placement also makes sense. I was like, oh, okay. I get it. Anyway. All right. So let me just be quiet for a minute. I'm just gonna shuffle for this minute. I can be flushing the line. So we can get from Libra season to Scorpio season. Who is Scorpio? Mars, Mercury, the Sun. North Node is in Aries. So I know I'm still talking, but I'm getting into it. North Node is in Aries, which is the other half of Mars. So Mars is actually in Scorpio, but the North Node is in Aries. So it's almost like Mars, especially for this season, I guess. I wonder if the sun is going to conjunct Mars and overtake it. I wonder when that happens, actually. Hey, Google, when does Mars go Kazemi?
Check out these pictures.
No, I don't need pictures. I need a date. You know what Kazemi means, Siri? I mean, if I know what, this is Google, first of all. If I know what Kazemi is, then you definitely know what Kazemi is. Mars Kazemi 2023. Can you just tell me? Can you just tell me? Ba-da-da-da. I don't think this is going to tell me. Tell me why. Okay, December square. Okay, Mars goes Kazemi November 17th, 2023 at 9:41 p.m. Pacific in Scorpio at 25 degrees. So yeah, Mars is going to go Kazemi this season. Because it's almost like, so on the Mars axis of I guess that would be interesting. On the Mars axis of Aries Scorpio, while the North Node is transiting Aries, when Mars goes Kazemi, when Mars conjuncts the Sun, um, it's almost like Mars is going to be in Scorpio to help support Scorpionic energy so that it's not unbalanced. I don't know. Love it. All right, I think we're good. Out of Patrick and oof. I was gonna say out of Patrick and into the collective, but then it was like out of Patrick and into the fire. But if the saying is out of Patrick and into the fire, then Patrick would also be a steaming hot dumpster fire. So, and he's not like, isn't he? Anyway, okay. The first card out is the Eight of Air, which we've seen recently. That was the as above, so below, but also the as below, so above. Bottom of the deck is choice, 0. And then wisdom is under that. Wise choices. If Libra is justice, Scorpio is karma, it would be a season of consequence. I saw a YouTube clip about the reading rainbow and how problematic it became because of its attempt at teaching value, you know what I mean? And educate yourselves, be a free thinker. But anyway, there was a clip of LeVar Burton, like reading to kids or something, I don't know. And it was a quote, I'm assuming from a book he was reading. And it kind of stuck out to me a little bit. I like rewound it. I went back 10 seconds to catch it again. It was like, in a sense, we are all each other's consequence. Or in a sense, we are each other's consequences. And it was interesting. It caught my attention. I mean, Libra is like partnership and Scorpio is intimacy. Are they associated with those things, right? This also makes me think of the Eight of Wands and the Vice Versa Tarot I almost used. And it's the side of the Eight of Wands with Pegasus. And it's like Pegasus is coming to deliver some divine judgment. And if it's swift, or not even divine judgment, it's like Pegasus is coming to deliver karma, be it good or bad. And we hope that it's good. Also, Samikiel in the Angelarium, whose sword cuts both ways. It's that justice energy. That, like, when we call down justice, justice rules on both sides of the situation. So, let he who was without sin cast the first stone type energy. Ish. More like if you're gonna throw rocks, make sure that you don't live in a glass house type energy, I think. Hey Steph, how you doing? I can't remember. I think I did. I watched your video, the collective one. I think you might have put out another one after that, or maybe just the old video came across my feed recommended. Okay, so a concept of like balance, maybe justice more so than karma. And it's interesting that there are these chains on this angel's hands. So maybe it is reading more like consequence, and maybe it is reading a little bit more like karma in that sense. It's like my hands are tied, like you made whatever choice or decision, like, and this is the natural consequence and repercussion to those choices and decisions, be they amazing or undesirable. It's almost like if you have a child that is coming of age, and so you want to teach them responsibility, or you want to teach them that their time of an abundance of grace is coming to an end, because when they come of age, they are responsible for their own, right? Their own choices and actions. Okay. So Libra season. We have the Queen of Earth as the second. Ooh, see, okay. We got two more cards, looks like. Yeah, we got two more. We have the Seven of Air and the Child and Thought. So we got like, and then Body, Mind, the 11 of Air is at the bottom of the deck. Just that last one, okay. This happens sometimes. It'll be like three cards that is. This happened with Leo season, maybe. I feel like it happened with a few seasons where the last card is three cards. So first is this Eight of Air, and this is like Libra season wrapped up. So I'm attempting to read the transition between Libra season and Scorpio season. So this is the three cards summarizing what Leo season in general brought us. The first being this Eight of Air. Maybe also, instead of it being something as extreme as consequence, it could be an awareness of the choices and decisions that we make in a way that we feel more responsible. It's almost like, I really want to eat a whole bunch of chocolate, but I know that, like, if I do that, my stomach's going to hurt. And, like, as much as I would love to do it, like, I don't feel like dealing with an upset tummy today, so I'm not going to eat the chocolate. Or I know that this is going to make my stomach hurt, and I don't mind it because I want that whole bucket. So give me, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's an understanding. And we make choices and decisions with that in mind, rather than like it being some completely out of the blue, unexpected, I had no idea this would happen type of consequence. It's like, yeah, I knew that would happen when I made that choice and decision. Either way. And it is what it is. Oof. I'll probably put on. No, I'm just playing. The second card for Libra season is this Queen of Earth. Now, this Queen of Earth is interesting because of the butterflies, because of the acorns, and because of the eggs. It's almost like the acorns that are dangling from her horns. Like an acorn has to be planted in the ground for it to become a tree. There's also all this transformation. There are flowers blossoming, transformation with the butterflies. It's like an orangish yellow and then a pinkish purple. I guess that's interesting though, because usually you would want the acorns on the ground. You want the acorns on the ground and the eggs elevated, like in a nest, so that they don't get trampled. I don't pull clarifiers with these. This Queen of Earth is interesting. I mean, Queen of Earth is a pre-Empress energy. Empress being Venus, Venus ruling Libra. That also being a nurturing energy, though, the Queen of Earth. So that, especially following this Eight of Air, could be us. Libra season could have put us in a position to evaluate where and how we spend our time and energy. Almost with that. Or again, it's that like it's that like I want to do this thing, but I know what the consequence of it is going to be. So either I won't do it because I don't want the consequence. I will do it because I want the consequence. If the thing is like exercising or eating better, right? The consequence would generally be a more healthy body, um, or knowing that there may be a negative consequence and choosing to do it anyway. Like it's a consequence I can eat. It's a fine I can afford. Um, but I guess that could also be part of all this transformation, or the transformation of the butterfly, the blooming of the flowers. Then the third card is the Seven of Air, the child, and thought. The Seven of Air, the child, and thought. Honestly, it's almost like a karmic reward type energy. Did I say karmic? I mean, I guess it is. But it's like it's like the things that are open to us because of the choices and decisions that we made. Especially here. Or it's like with the seven of air, it could be that like you passed a series of tests. Like there was something that would recur in your life, something that would keep coming back. Because I said it was like karmic. But in like Libra season, saw you make a choice or decision or do something that you don't usually do. So it's like the book is closed on that one. It's a series of things that you no longer have to go through in the same way. And then this would be like a graduation tassel that you put on your hat and then you flip to the side after, like, at the conclusion of the ceremony. And then this again would be like the new beginning. Or this could be newfound openness, a newfound whatever, a new lease on life type of energy. And it's like it's because there's something that it's like there are resources that aren't being spent on things that don't matter. Even if that, like, let's say there's a fear that you have of being seen. Like you want to fly under the radar. And so whenever it comes to opportunities that for like elevation or promotion or for things that you want, maybe your brain goes to like, oh, but like then I'll be seen. I'll have to do this. I don't like public speaking. And part of this role is public speaking. So I won't take the promotion. Like I won't move up and I won't venture out any further because of the situation that will put me in. But let's say that Libra season saw you in some way take something. And so, like, energy being lost to fear, it's like opportunities that were lost to fears or anxieties or worries, or like, what if this happens or what if that happens? Like, this is you actually doing it. This is you facing the world on quivering legs if you have to, with the child. And then we come into thought, and where we see that there's like this darker side. Now it's like there's this whole well of possibility, or like it's almost like the possibilities are endless now. The things that you could do are so much wider and more vast and broader because there are these things that you no longer avoid. It's like because you're capable of dipping into the well of possibility rather than drowning in the mire of pessimism. Of like, oh, well, what if this happens and that would never happen and blah, 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 blah. It's more like, but maybe. So, yeah, the third card is like it's like the things that you are open to opening you up to even more things. It's a card of like positive or just a card of momentum. It's a card of like one thing leading to another, but it's also like an acceptance of the unknown, knowing that you don't necessarily know how something is going to unfold, but being courageous enough to find out. And probably knowing that you're going to learn a lot and you may be challenged a lot because you're like a child. Bottom of the deck again was body mind. So body mind at the bottom of the deck being like there's this very real connection between the mental and the physical. And so it's like if there was a physical stagnancy or if there was a stagnancy in one's life, it was because of mental blockages, but maybe it wasn't necessarily perceived in that way. Maybe it was more like, why do I never get this opportunity? Or why do I always get passed up for whatever? And because it's like, even if you feel a certain type of way about something within yourself, it shouldn't necessarily affect your opportunities, right? Like, even if you know that you're not going to go to the party, that shouldn't stop you from being invited, right? Unless your attitude is one of like if you always say no. And so after a while, people are like, I mean, you always say no and you didn't seem interested, so we didn't invite you. Like, you are in this, like, oh, like nobody likes me because I don't get invited to anything. But on the other side is somebody who doesn't want to be rejected. And they know that if they invite you, you're going to reject them. Not necessarily, but like you kind of sort of get where I'm coming from. Maybe not. I sent my journey buddy a voice note, and I was talking about something, and I was going on and on. I was like, "Oh, you know what I mean," and then she was like, "I did it." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "I don't even remember what I was talking about now," but okay. Um, but yeah, it's like we don't necessarily put out an energy of like we're not emotionally, mentally, energetically attracting opportunity because of how we may think of or perceive of or operate, make choices and decisions within ourselves. And while it is perfectly reasonable to be like, just to think that, like, just because I feel this way within myself, it doesn't mean that I shouldn't still get invitations or I shouldn't still get access outside of me, because there is a separation between the inside and the outside. Like, other people don't know that what I'm thinking or how I feel, so that shouldn't like. And it's like, well, energy speaks energy. That extra part of like, well, like, let's say that you know that you don't want to go to the party, but you still want to be invited because you want to be included. And it's a very like me, I centric. And like, what if on the other side is a person who has trauma around rejection? And they know that you're going to reject them, and you know that you're going to reject them, but you want the opportunity to reject them because it's your right to reject them, because you should get an invitation anyway. That's like very like tangled. And but Libra in that partnership is us and others. It's not just us, even though me is where the north node is right now, and the south node is in us, we. Anyway, the third card of Libra season, like, it sees us not there anymore. The book is closed on that. And so now we stand open to the opportunity externally that we are open to because of what has happened and changed internally. And again, that's the first card of like, yes, there isn't as above, so below, but likewise, as below, so above. If you don't tend to the soil, then it doesn't matter the quality of the seed that you plant, or it doesn't matter how much sun and rain something gets. If it's poor soil, then it's still going to die. That poor soil being internal, being the part that we play. So, Scorpio season, the first thing that you're going to be bringing our way, I feel like it's going to be good, but I don't want to bias the reading. I mean, the end of the third card of Libra season almost dictates that it be good. Like, Libra season was so interesting again because like it came out with the Three of Swords. Like, that was the first thing that like Libra season, according to the read, was bringing. But when we looked at Libra season as a whole, it was so much more than that, to the point where it was almost like, well, how does this fit a Three of Swords like motif? I'm out of water. So we have 3 cards. We have the Four of Fire, which is our non-berserker berserker. That's what this card symbolizes now. Oh, maybe I'll do it at the end. We'll see. I'll pull them now. I'm gonna pull before and after. Oops, 2 cards in the Lafruma before I forget. Because if I don't pull them now, I'll forget. And this is Lafrumic. It's Ofurlagu energy. But it's a non-berserker Ofurlagu. Not that Ofurlagu is coded or written as a berserker energy, but still. Oh my gosh! Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, yes. Oh, I went looking before and after that card last time with the blade. And the blade, the sword being more than a weapon, spear of troth. It's the spear being used as a spear again rather than a weapon, which is in like that is it falls in line with the non berserker Ofurlagu. So I guess the card's like, here you go. I know what one of these cards looks like. I'm not sure about the other. I mean, I've seen it. I think. Honestly, I don't know if it's a card I see too much. Ooh. All right. I don't know how to keep these. I just lost like a chunk of my desk. There we go. We'll keep them like that. And then these I will put here because that works. All right. So the first card for Scorpio season is 3 cards. It's the 4 of Fire, Destiny, and the 6 of Water. Like this could be a 4 of Wands, Destiny, 6 of Cups type energy. 4 of Wands being like the and then the 6 of Cups being the like and the Destiny is like the time for it to happen is now, which would make sense again after the resolution that Libra season has potentially brought us. But the way that the 4 of Fire and the 6 of Water looks in this deck ain't necessarily how it's depicted typically in tarot, or at least in the Rider-Waite-Smith. Four of Fire, which is a card that I see a lot in this deck. Destiny. And the 6 of Water. Now, because Spirit Troth came out in the Lafruma, I am going to read this for a fire as I've been reading it rather than like trying to find a different way or trying to find what else it would mean. Sometimes the same card can mean different things depending. Um, and sometimes I feel like it's more obvious when it means something that we don't. So, wait. Well, I appreciate it, but we're only a third of the way through this. I'm kidding. um, so with this being the non-berserker, like uh, Gare, spear troth, it's to use the spear as it was intended again, where the sword or the blade is more than just a weapon. Um, and that's what this symbolizes. So it's like when we reach that space, that is destiny. That is what is destined, or that is the trigger for destiny. It's the closing of the book that happened in Libra season. So it's like, if you are destined to Four of Wands, Six of Cups, if you're destined to end up with somebody, if you're destined to have like a soulmate or a partner that will whatever. I think Reem talked about that when she went live, right? Is that when she went live? Or was that Hemi? It might have been Hemi. I think it was Hemi. Yeah, it was Hemi. It's a destiny that is fulfilled, like when we make a certain choice decision or when we arrive at a certain way of being, more so than it is associated with time. It's not necessarily in 5 years you're going to meet the person, even if it is in 5 years, like in next year, this season, because the Four of Wands and the Six of Cups are here. This season, you're going to meet your soulmate. But it's like, it's not the timing of it that is important. It's because of what happens and because of a point within oneself that is reached. So that's when it becomes a little um, if you are someone who really wants money and you are told that, on this day, you're going to get a lot of money. It's like, and that's the thing about prophecy. Or that's the thing about prophesizing. It's that sometimes, again, it's associated with something else more so than it's associated with time. Like, this is the day where you decide to invest in something that's going to end up turning like apple before apple, right? This is the day that you meet Bill Gates. Like, this is the day that you're walking down the street and you notice Bill Gates in his garage doing his whatever, and you buy in then, so that when it becomes Apple, you are set for life. But it's almost like it's one of those things where, like, if we focus more so on the day, then we may not do the thing that we're supposed to do. And it's all like, it's more of a complacency within us as people that is completely understandable. Like, well, you told me that I'd get this money, so I didn't think I'd have to do anything. I thought it would just, I don't know. You know what I mean? But it's like, I didn't know I would have to do anything. Like, you just said that this was the day. But it's like, this is the day where there's a fated encounter. This is the day where you make a certain choice of decision. This is the day where you go to Sam's Deli to get your lunch meat instead of going to Bob's to get a burger. Like, that's what happens on that day. That's the thing that triggers this destiny. It's the thing, it's the choice, it's the decision, it's the way of being more so than it is Scorpio season. And honestly, because of the third card of Libra season, it's because of what happened in Libra season that causes us to navigate however differently or however, more assured that in the beginning of Scorpio season, we'll see something come to fruition. And like she's offering, just like the Seven of Air, like they're both offering something. So again, it's like how I was saying that sometimes when we're in a certain mental space, we can't necessarily comprehend how or why it affects us externally. Right? Like just because I believe that I don't ever get opportunities doesn't mean that I shouldn't be offered them. Or just because I don't think anything good will ever happen to me doesn't mean that nothing good should ever happen to me. Like that's just something that I think. That's just the way I feel. It should have no bearing on my experience, right? Like, where's my miracle moment? But it's like when we close the book on that, just how like spirit or our assigned guardian closes the book on that cycle of lessons, there is something in the external that approaches us in much of the same way. As above, so below. As below, so above. As within, so without. As without, so within. But this below, this within, again, in Libra season, it's more focused on us and what we do rather than how things are motivated or how things transpire external to us. So it's almost like the first thing that Scorpio season is going to bring us is an opportunity to be appreciated in our authenticity, in our truth, in our honesty, in our fullness. And it's because we are ourselves that we are appreciated. Bottom of the deck is wisdom. These two cards, this was it. What was that? That was, I just did it the other day. It's one of the last lives I did. I haven't gone live too frequently lately. One of the last 5. I use this deck. What did I title it? I titled it like the sword is more than a weapon or something like that. If you're curious. Ooh. I need to be kinder to my phone charger. I'm just pulling it off the wall. Ooh, that was 4 hours long. The sword as more than a weapon. Oof. No, I did not put these timestamps in here. I didn't put. I did not timestamp this video. These chapters in this video were auto-generated. Chapter 0, intro. Chapter 1, I was just there. Chapter 2, being proactive. Chapter 3, people care about people. Chapter 4, how do you justify this? Chapter 5, what was I going to do? Chapter 6, what I wanted in life. Chapter 7, people don't care. Chapter 8, free thinking people. Chapter 9, religious people. Chapter 10, religion has failed. Chapter 11, behind the scenes. Chapter 12, the blade. Chapter 13, the offering. I did not create those chapters, but that 4-hour video, I'm pretty sure is when I use these cards. Yeah, because of the blade. Right? Right? Maybe not. I think so. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. Maybe I'll find it and link it. But it's like every time I use this, pretty much lately, because the 4 of Fire comes out. Anyway. Yeah. And again, because the card came out, because this is one of the cards that I went looking for because of the blade. This card also came out unfurled. And it is sitting at the bottom of the deck post finding the cards that I wanted to find. See you, Steph. Okay. So Scorpio season. 3 cards for Scorpio season. Please. As a whole, overall. Oh, that's way too many. I'm sorry. I'll acknowledge them. Heaven and Earth. Oh, it's 5. It's only 5. It's 5 cards. Heaven and Earth. And then we have the Ace of Earth, the 1 of Earth, the 4 of Earth, the 6 of Water, and Knowledge. I almost want to take it because Wisdom was at the bottom of the deck before, and then we have Knowledge here, and because the card of Thought has come out. But that's too many. That's too many. Bottom of the deck is the 9 of Fire. That was like the final card. See, in tarot, these cards will all come back out again if they are meant to. Because the decks be like that. I'll put them back separately. All right, first card. Oh, it's more than one. First card is the Queen of Air and the 3 of Earth. I don't know if I've ever seen this 3 of Earth card before. This card looks foreign to me. This, it's because there is no eye here. It's because there's no eyeball there that it feels like, honestly, these two together, because of the 3 of Earth, like it feels like God, it feels like the divine is much closer to Earth than we may typically attribute it/him. It being the divine. Oh, God is a him. Sure, why not? Well, Ariana said that God is a woman. Anyway. I'm just like, how do I read this? Wait. Maybe it's almost like, instead of thinking of it as like God watching us from heaven, it's very much so like God watching us through the critters and the flowers and the leaves on the trees. Like it's not this far removed from high, like from on high, like God knows my heart. So while my heart is pure, I'm going to be an absolute garbage person. It's like, oh, but God knows my heart, so I'm fine, you know. Not that that's the context that it's set in, but it's almost like when we think of God as so far removed, it makes it easier for us to think that we get away with the wrongdoings that we do to ourselves and one another. But it's like if you think about when non believers meet the divine, they do so through people. Not always, but like sometimes it is the kindness of a person that sees them when no one else does that gets someone to believe. And it's so understated, like it's not necessarily like super loud and super showy missionary work. It's like simple everyday moments. And like it feels like the flowers are watching. More so than the squirrel. Like I said, the squirrel because that's the thing, right? But it feels like the flowers are the ones that are watching. And this person is here and the squirrel is here. So it's like both of these are people. And these are the eyes of the divine that are like leaning in. Which is like, I don't know. I'd say it's weird. Like it feels out of place, but the veil is thinning in this season. So maybe it's not. Maybe the veil thins in more ways than we think. I don't know. More ways than I think, because I don't know how other people think. Although, if you listen to me, you might think that I claim to. Like, honestly, most of the time I don't get it. I'm just like, well, people gonna people. Sometimes I like my mom will be like Patrick, why would somebody do this? I'm like, people are people. People do people things, man. I don't know what to tell you. I don't. She'll be, and I'm like, people are people. It ain't got to be logical. It don't have to make sense. It ain't got to be right. You know, I've lived for 30 years, nearly 31, and just it's, what helps me is that accepting that people are going to people. Just like I people person, other people are going to people person, even when it don't make no sense. All right, Scorpio season, second card. Ooh, it like revealed. It was like this great ball of fire that revealed itself, but then like went back down into the deck, which is like the sun, I guess. Card number 2 of Scorpio season is also multiple cards. Where'd you go? Oh, it fell on the floor. Aquarius said Aquarius season. No, Scorpio season. But Pluto, being direct, is about to go back into Aquarius, I guess. Oh, you went far. The second card is the 9 of water and the 3 of water. Scorpio season is just so like WTF. Like, what is this? I almost wonder, because of what Scorpio season is starting with, I almost wonder if maybe this is going to almost read, hey, Daddy, how you doing? I feel like yours is a name that I've seen before. Have I seen you before, Daddy Riddle? Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I have, and I'm right. I hope you're well. So maybe it's like God is in the leaves and the trees and watches us through the eyes of the critters. Speaking of, why was I going to talk about her? Why was I going to talk about her? Oh, because I was going to talk about. Okay, thank. I was like, I'm pretty sure I have. I feel like it's been a minute though. I mean, obviously, it's been a minute if I had to ask the question. um, wow. Okay. Thanks for being here. I have a few friends who, like, that wasn't Libra season. What season was that? Leo season, Virgo season? I don't know. I talked about it when it happened. There was a season when I started working, so end of May into June, Cancer season? Gemini season. I'm like, does the season matter? Not really. I'm just trying to time the when it was happening. Um, but it was like, let's say June. It was in the month of June ish. June, July. Sorry. It was June, July when I was like, nobody's perfect, but there are some people who are like very much so where they should be. It's like the people who care about this are doing this for work. And like you would want the person that cares about it to be doing it. Now, when everyone cares about what they do more so than anything else, or whenever we're like involved in our own worlds, we are just inherently through nature of living a lived experience, ignorant to a lot of everything that we are not knowledgeable of. Like, oh, I didn't know that you did this. And it's like, yeah, well, how would you know that? I haven't told you. You know what I mean? Uh, oh, snap. There you go. There you go. I love Reem. Our girl Reem. There are a lot of Virgos that I found here. A lot of them through Reem. I have no Virgo in my chart. Like, Virgo is the one thing I don't have. So I feel like that should make me an honorary Virgo. I'm only an honorary Virgo when I'm getting paid. Oof. I feel like I've been getting worse. I'm like, this is not orderly. It's stressing me. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Stop. It's fine. Um, it's nice to see you. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, the people who care are doing it. Where am I going with that? Oh, that's why I was going to talk about her. Because like I have a few friends who work in DC, and by a few I mean two. I have two friends who like work on Capitol Hill, and then I have other friends who have like gone to DC to do stuff because I was at school for a long time and I met quite a number of people. Well, actually, one of them I went to high school with, and it was her because I was just thinking I was on the treadmill and there was like politics on the screen. I enjoy class if it's something that you can enjoy. Holly, I'll catch you later. There were like politics on the screen, and I was like, oh, I was trying to see if I would see like one of the people that I know in the hallway, like two people out of everyone who's walking through some hallway that I don't know anyway. And I remember like one of my core memories of her is that I'm pretty sure we were in like the sixth grade in math class, sitting in front of a window, and there was an ant on the table. And we were like, ew, kill it. And she was like, no, don't kill the ant. Like, ants also matter. And like, that's what I remember her for. I remember her for being the one person at our table of four that was like, don't kill it. And then after that, like, if I see a bug on a sidewalk and I'm walking somewhere, I will like purposefully like avoid stepping on it. Um, and I told her one time, I was like, I do that now because of you. And she was like, well, after she said after that, she stopped caring. So we were a horrible influence on her, but she was a gorgeous one on me. She gave in to peer pressure. No. But anyway, she's an Aries. Her birthday is actually 2 months after mine. I'm 2/28. She's 4/28. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But that's why that's how I got there. So what's up? Back to this. So it feels like, because the first thing that Scorpio season is bringing us is that we have reached, I called it the non-berserker Ofurlagu. I don't know how else to put it. Because when the non-berserker Ofurlagu energy comes out, I don't even necessarily know what it, like, it could be an infinite number of things. There are 1,000,001 and an infinite number more ways to be in the bosom of the divine in a loving way, and to live that in a way that is not violence against others who don't believe the same. Like, there are 1,000,001 and infinitely more ways to like be spiritual and to like believe in like that the universe has your back, but to not be entitled to having everything that you want when you want it, regardless of who it affects and how it affects them and how it ultimately affects you. That is not so centered in egoic 3D earthly. I want money, I want the job, I want the car, I want the person. And so, like, for the infinite number of ways to be close to the divine and not, like, that's what the non-berserker Ofurlagu is. The berserker is like, I put on this too, regardless if they be friend or foe, win the battle. So it's almost like, because the first thing that Scorpio season is coming out with is this new way to be with the divine. Because of that destined point that we reach, then it's not surprising that the divine God isn't up in the clouds anymore. It's like God, the divine, is closer than ever. And that's what, like, the second card, which is 2 cards, is really highlighting and pointing out. Besides that, honestly, like, we are entering territory where I'm like, I don't know what this is. Again, because it can be so many things, but also because I don't know if the history of the world has necessarily seen something like this so widespread. Like, can there be peaceful peoples? Yeah, of course. Regardless of whether or not they're still here, you know what I mean? Regardless of whether or not they pacifisted out of existence because of some whatever, that doesn't matter. But it's just like, it's different. And this almost makes me think it's Naruto anime. But it makes me think of sage mode. Like, when somebody goes sage mode and they basically, there are a few primordial energies. Not like, sage mode is more so related to like nature though. The lore of Naruto gets more complex at the end of Shippuden when you see like where the chakra system even comes from. Like, at one point humans weren't ninjas and they couldn't use chakra, and then aliens, literal aliens, come and then people could use chakra. It's like, what? Didn't expect aliens in my ninja anime, but it's fine. I've never like necessarily thought about it. I was like, yeah, it was aliens. But anyway, it is. I just derailed that whole so many trains of thought. Sage mode. That's what happens when it's almost like when that barrier between self and the world dissolves and we like someone just naturally channels like there's chakra within the body and then there's like prana. This is where we get real like at the beyond the edge of Patrick's understanding. But it's like if you think of chi or energy or prana, there's the energy. Oh, this was that other anime that I watched and I talked about it. But there's the energy inside of the body that we learn to use. There's the energy that we use to do work within our body, but then there's also all of the energy of the universe, literally everything outside of us. And so, like Sage mode, this three of Earth is when we can use the energy outside of us, or when we can channel the energy outside of us also to do work. And again, like, this is so interesting because it's almost exactly like the law of attraction and manifestation, but it's different. If the law of attraction and like manifestation and all of that is like, if I do this spiritually, I am guaranteed and owed this result. And so it becomes much more transactional than like personal and intimate and conversational. You know what I mean? But it's almost like from the outside, if you would look at that person, they would be indistinguishable from someone who uses spirituality to manifest the life of their dreams, or who's watched The Secret on Netflix and who's mastered it or read the book. But there's something about how like the divine works through them, with them, how they, it's like, what's this third card? Let's just get it. Third card for Scorpio season. Oh, it's too many. I should have just stopped. The card that came out and touched the table, this is like literally how it fell out. I'll try to pick these up. So here is the Four of Fire and Destiny. Here is the Queen of Earth. That was up here, the second card of Libra season. It fell right here, touching all three of them. And it's healing. We see our wisdom guy outside of the cave. No longer beyond the veil. Hey, 222 Infinity. I didn't say hi. I hope you're well. Look at this. I don't know. All right, I'll show you this. And I'll get closer and closer and closer until to see if you see the detail that I see. I mean, if you don't see it, it's fine. I am one person with one perspective and interpretation. Okay. All right. I'm gonna move it closer and closer. It probably doesn't help if it doesn't focus, but I'm gonna move it closer and closer, right? Okay, well, I don't know if I can get too much closer. You see that? It's that tassel, that like graduation energy. It's around his neck. also we had this bracelet that was handed out. And this is the third card of the one card of the first thing that Scorpio season is bringing us. This was the first card of the third card. This was the first card of the three cards of the third card of what Libra season, like concluding Libra season. As I'm pulling the third card, here again comes this like tassel graduate, like this thing that symbolizes a completion of a curriculum or whatever. Like when that came out, it was offered and they're both offered and presented here, but I guess it's worn at least by the end of Scorpio season. So this season could honestly be a lot of figuring it out, but I wouldn't be surprised because the child was also in the third card of Libra season. And it came out as the child because of how we mature and learn and grow into it. Now, one season seems like a lot. Or one season seems like not a lot of time to go from like receiving it to like wearing it. But that would also be because of this. It's when we reach that, when we reach this point, that is the destiny trigger for us to go beyond or to receive something else. And it's not a time, it's not whatever. Excuse me, it's when we reach that point. And it can take however long it's going to take us there. Like you could have already reached that point, you know. I just know there are 3 frogs here. I only saw the first frog I saw was this one. And then I saw the frog here, and then I saw the frog up there. I was like, oh, like he carries this frog to it's like the journey itself will take us where we are going or something. Honestly, Scorpio season is getting real woozy or fuzzy. I'm like, what is this? Where did those other cards go? I didn't put them back. When did I pull them out? There were some cards that flipped over inside the deck. No, I didn't pull them out. So far, it looks like a lot of earth energy. The Lord's Prayer. On earth as it is in heaven. His will be done on earth as it is in heaven. But this could almost be an energy of like us being on earth, who we would think that we are in heaven. Right. As below, so above. Bottom of the deck is the Ten of Air, which was that portal thingy that we started with. This was the Abyss. Yeah. And then it was Wisdom holding the lantern, holding the light through. And then it was the Four of Wands, like, hey, gotcha. Like waiting for you to peek into the thing, and then it hits you. And you're like, whoa, like I didn't know I was signing up for all of this. What are you doing? But Wisdom is out in the daylight now. Just like Nesco. She can brave the light of day. So the first 2 cards are the 6 of Earth and the 9 of Earth. The 9 of Pentacles is pre-Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles is pre-Empress. So that makes the 9 of Pentacles my minor Empress. I only mention that because the Queen of Earth came out as the second card of Libra season. And then here we see her. That's why I mentioned that. But it's almost like there's this king and queen of pentacles energy before they become king and queen. Now, Four of Wands, Six of Cups. Oh, I mentioned it because of the butterfly. That's why. On the cup. This is also, oh, that's weird. I think because my arm was moving a little bit, it looked like the butterfly's wings were kind of like, I was like, oof. I haven't had any alcohol today, I promise. Because of like that butterfly right there, and then there's a little like pink one right there. That's why I went on that tangent of like, well, this would be pre Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Earth, minor Empress energy. And she's also got the acorns. I feel like this just blew my mind. I don't know, something about Scorpio season. It's just reading like, and I know like, around Halloween, the veil thins because of Samhain and Dia de los Muertos and All Hallows Eve and all of these celebrations that recognize the thinning of the veil at this time of year. But I don't know if I've ever necessarily thought of the thinning of the veil as like the divine growing closer or coming closer. I feel like I've always assumed it was under the pretense of like spirits and things like that coming closer and not necessarily like, you know what I mean? Maybe that's just me. I mean, because of Halloween, and God will walk the earth on All Hallows Eve. And it's like, I thought that was just like ghosts and like spooky things. And it's because of this Queen of Earth. Like she's becoming more human, which is very like weird. There's something very like weird here. But maybe it isn't. I recently started playing, I mean, I played one day, El Shaddai Ascension of the Metatron, and I shared it on the community post, part of the intro video. And it's like, again, like I got that game in 2012 or 2013, it said. So I knew nothing at that point. There were many things that I had not yet come across. But I've heard that like the Metatron is Enoch. Well, Enoch was on Earth, Enoch was Enoch, but when Enoch ascended the physical plane, he became Metatron. And it's El Shaddai Ascension of the Metatron starring Enoch. And it's not, I know it's nothing like new and groundbreaking now. Of course I know that. But it is Elijah or Elisha, the one who ascended the mortal plane while living, that did not have to die. And again, it's something in this Three of Pentacles that's very like, while you are being this caring whatever, like God is watching through the flowers a lot closer than you would think, like on ground level, maybe even beneath you, watching you, not from on high where everything looks flat. And so it's very like pick a culture where a god or goddess or a heavenly figure would incarnate on earth or have an avatar or whatever on Earth and would interact with people. It's like angels in disguise. And I was going to say earth angels with this three of earth, but it's like it would be an earth angel in a different way. It's like the energy of this earth angel type energy and the energy of like when I hear people say, oh, like it was an earth angel, it's kind of different, especially when it comes to people like being earth angels. But anyway, again, it's like something about this. It's like while you're out being a good Samaritan or whatever, the divine comes to you or an angel comes to you and like offers you something. But again, like if it is this fated moment if it's when we reach a certain point and that point triggers destiny, I wouldn't be surprised because I'm sure the same would have been true for like Enoch. Enoch was a man who, while being a human, while living in this dense 3D reality where he had ancestors and generational things that he had to bear, still within his incarnation, reached some point where God recognized him and the angels came for him, just like Elisha, I think. I think Elijah was the one that stayed, and Elisha was the one that became uh, that ascended the physical plane without dying. So yeah, again, it's like, and then like if I read, like it seems so like not far fetched, but it's like really like, are the angels like is God still sending out invitations to get into heaven before you die, or are Metatron still being made? Where men and women and people become angels. I mean, I guess if you look at some people throughout history, maybe, you know what I mean? The good ones. Um, but it's almost like, it almost be like, let's say you have a guardian angel, and every day your guardian angel fills out a report on what you're doing. And something in Libra season had you do something drastically different to the point where it caught your guardian angel. Oh, hold up, wait. Okay, sorry. Okay, it's fine. Wow. Was that before Libra season? Anyway, it's fine. So it's like you do something extraordinary that catches someone's attention, and your guardian angel's boss or your guardian angel's boss's boss or the divine itself, the Lord himself, whatever you believe themselves, is like, I have to see with my own eyes this person that you're the person that you're in charge of has become, or is like, I have to from ground level like peep this out for myself, because if so, like if this is true, then you know Metatron might not be so lonely up here, being one of the only ones who actually incarnated on Earth, or whatever, anyway. It's like it's recognition, but it's recognition again in a way that I guess in Catholicism you have saints, right? And some of those saints, at least I know next to nothing about Catholicism, but like Saint Patrick was an actual person. And then there's Saint Michael, who's like Archangel Michael. So, there are some saints that were like, and then there are some saints who were people. Just like in other cultures, there are some people who achieve, I know in like Buddhism, there's a thing where a person becomes like a bodhisattva, I think. There's like Elisha and there's Enoch who were recognized and who were invited to become more. It's a widespread thing of like being recognized. The last two cards of this 5 card, third card are the Ace of Air and the Queen of Fire. Like I said, Scorpio season is just one huge, like, what is this? Saturn and Pisces 0 degrees still here. Oh, wow. I hope your mom is doing all right. Sorry. I'm a millennial. I can't help it if I get a notification. I love that excuse. This is wild. If ever there were a time to just show the cards and be like, interpret this how you will, it would be this. It would be now. I feel like this 9 of water, 3 of water, the 6 of water is here. We have the 3, 6, 9 of water. And those are the only water cards that are on the table. 3 of water, 6 of water, 9 of water. The 3 of earth is here, and the 9 of earth is here, and the 6 of earth is here. We have the 3, 6, 9 of water, and the 3, 6, 9 of earth. Also, the Queen of Earth is here. Anyway, it's just these two. I was like looking at these two. This middle set of cards of Scorpio. And again, it's like, I feel like this is probably something that I would like read on the other channel and just leave it as is. But over here, I feel like I got to make things make sense. And I'm like, well, sorry, sorry. Like, what sense is there to be made of this madness? But again, like with destiny being when we reach a certain point in our evolution, instead of destiny being, it was prophesied whenever that Scorpio season 2023 on November 17th, 2023, this thing will happen. It's like, if that thing happens, yeah, sure, but it happens on that day because of other things that are transpiring and happening. It's not the day that's important. It's not the time. I wonder if that's why no man knows the hour or the time. Because it's not about the hour or the time. It's about when the conditions are met. Anyway. This is wild. See, this is partially why I don't tell people I have a YouTube channel. Some stuff I'm like, okay, it's fine. I don't know if I mentioned it here, but my coworkers know that I read cards. It's fine. I was like, oh, now I gotta quit and move and get a new job where nobody knows. My coworker was like, really? I was like, if I had that luxury, maybe. It's fine. Judge Judy. I was just talking about Judge Judy. Speaking of coworkers, like last Thursday, I think. That's fine. I mean, I've already come this far. Why chicken out now, right? So how I'm seeing it, take it as it resonates. I could be all the way off, and I'm a Pisces, and my Mercury is in Pisces. My Mercury is in Pisces in my 12th house. I am, what's a word that's like a lover of something, but more than a lover of something? I am, I love metaphor. I process things sometimes through metaphor and act like it helps me learn. Surprising, well, maybe not surprisingly, to be able to see the connections between one thing and another, and to go, oh, like it must work like this because of that. And then somehow, yeah, it does. See, other people might be like, well, how does one thing relate to another? And I'm like, well, if it didn't, I wouldn't be acing these tests. I'm kidding. I got weird brain, okay? Which is fine. I know it's something that I love about me, honestly. But when it comes to things like this, I'm a Pisces who's reading tarot. Okay, you want something else, go to a Sagittarius or an Earth sign or an air sign. Like, what does this mean? And no one's ever asked me. I've gotten a question before, but never in a like whatever way. Right? No one's ever been like, "Oh, you're too abstract. Why don't you break it down more?" And I've been, maybe because folks know better. But anyway, it's just like sometimes I like to be like, "Well, how does this make sense here?" I guess like a version of this, like let's say that you work somewhere, and your boss, like you work somewhere and you're attracting attention and you don't know it. Let's say that you are performing stellarly and your boss gets a compliment and they're like, hey, like good job with the whatever. And your boss is like, well, actually, it was this person, to their boss. And now you got your boss's boss, maybe all the way up to the CEO or whoever. Like now you're on their radar. Now they made themselves come to you, like, because it's almost like maybe there was something that you were doing, there's something that you catch, and you're like, okay, but it has a much bigger impact than you may have realized from your scope. It's big enough to catch the attention of like somebody up here. And so they come to meet you and they're like, hey, there's this thing, there's this position, there's whatever. And we believe that someone of your caliber deserves to be a lot higher than you are. So here's an invitation that's extended. That's one way to like bring this down and make sense of it, because it could happen. And then it's like maybe it seems like it's out of the blue. Maybe it seems that it's like all of a sudden or like what? But something like that, things like that, they don't go unnoticed for long, meaning it would be like multiple things that you've been doing. And it's again like it's these constant reports. It's like, oh, that person, oh, it was this person. And you and your everyday may feel unappreciated. But all of a sudden, someone's like, hey, someone from the C suite is like, hey, we're going to be coming to your site for blah, 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 whatever business. While I'm there, I would love to meet this individual. You may not even necessarily know who you're meeting. Maybe it's going to be an undercover boss type situation. It's general. Make it fit and apply, however, right? Maybe it's not the divine. Maybe it's your CEO, or maybe it's a partner. Maybe someone's going to fall in love with you because of your kindness. And you don't even think that anyone notices, but there's someone who has been, and they're going to come forward or not, right? Maybe you are a terrible person and nobody likes you because you're a terrible person and this doesn't resonate for you. That's fine. I mean, I'd assume that if you're watching this on my channel, that you're not a terrible person, but it's just like, it ain't necessarily, you know how like sometimes people say, other readers say that like, you know, I get comments from people and they're like, you said that this would happen and you said that that would happen. It's like, yeah, girl, if it resonates, are you out here doing anything that the reading is talking about? No. Okay, well then this probably doesn't resonate for you. You know what I mean? You want the good stuff of this, but you're not doing anything else like that this reading is validating. Okay, well, then maybe this one is not for you. I said that you'd meet the love of your life if you go to the grocery store on Tuesday, but you stayed inside. Obviously, this was not for you. You know what I mean? You stayed in the house. You didn't go to the grocery store. Why are you in XYZ's comment box getting angry and upset with them that you didn't get the reward while you didn't do any of the work? Like, you don't go to work, you don't get paid. Anyway, like I said, I don't get those comments. So, not speaking from personal experience, but it just like it blows my mind sometimes. I'm like, I wish somebody would. I don't. I got my one comment that one time, and I was like, girl, I'm not for you. You're not for me. Okay. Anyway, I'm like stalling and I'm waffling. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate it, Janelle. You know, I'm just me. And I am a firm believer that the cards, the messages come to us in a way that is for us to interpret, right? I see what I need to see. I make the choices and decisions. And like I make a choice, I am guided to. Some days I make a choice, some days I'm guided to. Some days it's like a card or whatever. This is where I ended up. And with this being what the divine has to communicate with me for the purposes of this, there you go. You got a comment for me? Oh, is it a wait? Hold on, wait. What we talking about, Eve? Hi, hello, welcome. It's pretty late. Isn't it bedtime? Is it almost bedtime? How's inventory? Is it done? We had inventory today, but I go to work tomorrow. So, hey, this is so weird, but it's not any weirder than anything. So, like, I was like, if this feels like the divine, like picking an avatar or some angel in disguise visiting you to see the legend that is you up close and personal, right? But when they do that, they offer you this. You see, like the blacky purple with the gold butterfly. As I'm looking at this ace of, or this one of air, like it's this. It's like, speaking of like Enoch becoming Metatron or the Metatron, and it's like, hold up. Because you couldn't get like when we go up to the Queen of Air, when we try to find the divine, and it's like there's no eyeball. It's like no one's there. But then like this whole dragon of air comes out, and it's like, oh snap. Right? Like maybe you thought that your ancestors were proud of you. Maybe you thought that it was your guardian angel, but it's like it's Archangel Michael or Raphael or Gabriel or I don't want to say God itself, but it's like more attention than you would have thought. And then we have like the Queen of Fire, Queen of Earth, Queen of Air, Queen of Fire. The only queen we haven't seen is the Queen of Water. We haven't seen the Queen of Fire, the Queen of Water, but we see this lady. Maybe that's the queen in her street clothes. Or maybe this is the queen. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe these two are the Queen of Water. Maybe she's in disguise, and that's why I don't know what these two cards are. I still like, I'm kind of like, what is this? I don't know. You're just now eating dinner? What? I got Little Caesars yesterday. That's probably, Little Caesars gives diminishing returns. It's fine the next day, but it's like the manna that rained. If you keep it past today, it's going to spoil. So eat your fill today and leave the rest for the pigeons. You'll be taken care of tomorrow. You ain't got to worry about it. Anyway, I ate so much. Like 5 hours. Oh, it's 10:30. Oh, I work tomorrow. So I'm trying to stay up tonight. I work night shifts. So I'm going to try to stay up for my shift. So I'm prepared for tomorrow so I don't fall asleep at like midnight. Or so I don't start getting like super sleepy at midnight. Even though between 11 and 1 o'clock, me falling asleep is very unlikely. That's rush hours. Between 11 and like 2, after that, then things calm down, then it might be a struggle. But anyway, I'm staying up tonight so I can afford to eat. It's fine. Um, so I was like, the whatever this offer is here, it is color coded to be very similar to this. And then we have this Queen of Fire, who I'm like, is this the Metatron to Enoch? But then I think of the card that came out, which is the healing, which is wisdom walking during the day out of the cave. Wisdom that was at the bottom of the deck at the end of Libra season, right? Oh yeah, we have this Ten of Air here. Girl, what? Oh. So I looked before and after Adele, and I looked before and after Man. Before and after Adele is Candle and Health. Candle, Daystar, Health Restore. Honestly, for me personally, is this Cunning? Actually, I just put it in here. I can pull it for you. I kind of resonate to Raw Runes 1. Cunning more so than Health. I just put it in here. I don't know where it is. It's fine. Oh, they're right here. I didn't put them away yet. Pretty sure this is Cunning. Oh, that's Rasa. I was like, oh, it's literally right here. No, it's not. Also, this is my solar eclipse rune. Personally, Cunning. I learned to know number 72, Cunnish. I resonate to that. I learned to know personally a little bit more than Health. That's fine. It went from a 9 to a 7. 72 to 61. Excuse me. So in that, it would be Candle, Daystar, and that learning to know. Candle and Condo, Hot and Baldur, the micro and the macro, 2 locks on 1 door. Micro, macro, as above, so below. Locks on a door, this guy. He has the lock and the key around his neck. There we go. I was going to mention that. I don't know why. I was like, I guess I noticed it. He has the lock and the key on his own neck. Having the lock and the key on one's own neck is very like tempered strength energy. It's like, yeah, you could say something, but should you? Type of energy. You know what I mean? Maybe it is his restraint that is noticed. He is not me. I'm kidding. I literally thought about that before I went live. I was like, sometimes, I'm so like whatever, but I don't have it in me to see a certain topic or for something to come up and then for me to try to like, well, I don't want to upset anybody, so I'm gonna take a very like sugary diluted whatever, and it's like, yeah, no, because what does that do for anybody? Nothing. Well, for some people, for the people who it resonates for, who needs it, they find it. It's not for me, and it's fine. I ain't got to do everything. I ain't got to be everybody. But I did think about that before I came live. Was that a sign that maybe I should be? Probably. But like I said, because again, it just doesn't like. I know the child is here, but we're not children. And it's like eventually, in order for a child to go from kindergarten to first to second to third to proceed or to progress through a process, you have to introduce more and more complex topics. You have to, at some point, again, like hold the child accountable for their own choices, decisions, actions, and behaviors. Because if not, once they become an adult, and it's like, should we retain the purity of imagination and creativity and that childlike heart and eyes full of wonder? Yeah. But, should we go around hitting each other, calling each other like stupid and like spitting on in each other's hair or whatever children do as adults? Probably not. You know what I mean? Especially adults who at some age become old enough for all of the things that we say that children are too young for. Anyway, Candle and I learned to know. This is interesting because if I read this as candle and health, it feels like your light body coming online and your light quotient is increasing, and it's like that. But with candle and I learned to know, it's almost like it's the difference between it, like it feels like your light body coming online is a very passive process. Like one day you wake up and you're just holding a bunch of light. And I know that like there are evolutionary ascension, whatever steps to get there. But like I learned to know feels a lot more active. It's like Spider-Man. I'm not a huge comic book, maybe like popular, contrary to what some may believe about me, because it's kind of sort of like very much my vibe, but also I don't like comic books and comic book heroes. Like it's not my thing. In theory, it is. In theory, I would love it, but I don't. Um, but it's like the Spider-Man learning what his powers are when he has no one to teach them, right? Because he's the only Spider-Man. It's like you learn through trial and error. You learn through doing, and that's the like I learned to know. So there's this like learning to do and be whatever this sort of is, more so than just listening to someone tell you what it means, or like going off of someone else's script or going off of what it means for someone else. And then around man is kin, which is torch, divine spark. Kin is related to candle and condal, but it's like candle and condal are two separate pieces of the kin. Like kin is it in its pure unadulterated form, but it becomes candle condal, like two different sides of the light of this one divine light. And then there's the collective attribution title card. So around man is the divine spark and the title card of whatever this means. And again, like I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? But this is almost like literally man ascending, man becoming through his closeness to an embodiment of that divine spark, the energy of the divine within him. Man gets welcomed into the other side of the veil. Man becomes more because of how he wields the divinity, how he wields the divinity within him. Yeah. And again, that divinity within him feels like it plays very much on this health and candle energy. I don't know. It gets like really subtle here. And it's like from the outside, it would look like a lot of things that I've heard people say, but reading it, the energy is like completely different. And it's not the energy as much as it is the person. as much as it is one's like personal motivations, right? It's like two people can be doing the exact same workouts at the gym, could be following the exact same diet and get the exact same results, but it's like the motivations for those people could be completely different. Like why they're in the gym getting fit in the first place. One person is getting a revenge body, and the other person just had a health scare. So they want to take care of themselves because now they know they have to. You know what I mean? One of those motivated by a love for self and a compassion for one's body, and the other to spite somebody who didn't want to be with somebody for whatever reason. Completely different motivations. And it's just like, again, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised because that was up here in this somewhere, and it was here. It's like it's in whatever we close the book on. Whatever doesn't affect our thinking anymore that allows us to be in this new beginner's mind type energy, where now we can delve into this well of thought that we never would have previously or prior. Again, it's building off of Libra season. It's because the third card is what the third card is that the beginning of Scorpio is what it is. And Libra season, like the energy from the beginning of Libra season felt so almost disjointed from like the overall energy. Like overall, it looked kind of gorgeous. Overall, it looked gorgeous. But coming out with the Three of Swords is like, no. This, it's because of that evolutionary point that we reach that triggers whatever this destiny is. It's there. It's not out of the blue. Again, what I think is kind of out of the blue is like we may not, within our own life, think that we've changed so much, or we may not think that we've been noticed or appreciated or whatever. But very much so, like, yes, Scorpio season is like you've very much so been recognized. It was this card. This was that Eight of Wands, Pegasus energy. We've been recognized. Let's hope it's for the right reasons. But I mean, at this point, again, it's like there's something very karmic about this. There's something very consequential. So you don't have to hope it's for the right reasons if you've been doing the right things. Right? This is wild. It's been 2 hours. Again, this is very much so one of those, what does this mean? If you need me to ground it down, no one's asking me. But if I had to ground this down, this is like you being recognized in your truth, in your authenticity, and appreciated and approached because of it. Sometimes we're appreciated silently. This is not silent. This is someone like that's like, hey, I saw what you did, and I appreciate it. Hey, thanks for sticking up for that person who no one else stuck up for. Like I wanted to do something, but like I felt powerless and helpless, and you just doing what you did today showed me that I'm not. And next time, and they may not communicate this part necessarily, but it's like next time I'm in a similar situation, I know that I too can stand up and stick up for somebody, even if I don't know what to do or say. I could be that one that completely changes how something plays out. And you showed me that I could do that because you did it, because I saw you do it. And then, of course, when you get feedback and validation like that, you feel, and it's not, again, it's something that's so almost gray, but it's like you don't do good things to get recognition, but you appreciate being appreciated because who doesn't appreciate being appreciated? And maybe that's another difference. There's a difference between appreciating being appreciated and doing good things for clout or whatever. Right? There's a difference between, doing good because you're a good person and then karmically, universally, through other people, being rewarded for doing good things and being good because Christmas is coming and you want presents. Again, completely different motivations. It may look the same. It may look nearly indistinguishable from the outside, but on the inside, those motivations are completely different and they're known, right? They are known. You can be a Tahani Al Jamil all you want to, but you still end up in the good place. So anyway. And again, there's something about, was that the end of Libra season? Where it's like we wouldn't necessarily think that's the case, but it is. But again, maybe that's that, like, people say as above, so below all day long. So if I pretend to be a good person, then, I'll get good things. But as above, so below, the converse is true. As below, so above. As within, so without. As without, so within. And it's more than just something that we put on to try to get, cosmic brownie points, karmic cosmic brownie points to, just like how women aren't these vending machines that the nice guy can put kindness tokens into until they get something to pay out. Like the universe is much the same. So, the divine is much the same. But I'm a good this, I'm a good that. It's like you put kindness tokens out, you pay kindness tokens out because you think it'll guarantee you something. And then that entitlement that you feel when you don't get it. Like, and there's a difference between like entitlement and not being appreciated. Right? Anyway, leave it up to Scorpio season to bring out all this. At the deepest level, it is vastly different. From the surface, it could be nearly indistinguishable. Right? The only time you know that the deep sea creature is stirring is if it comes to the surface. Because they live so far down, the water is going to be still. It's going to look still. Scorpio is the still pond until you dive in and it drags you down. And then you're like, oh my gosh, all of this was happening in here. And it's like, yeah, girl, you didn't know. Pluto was doing that. No, Pluto was the frozen lake. Pluto was the deep freeze. I don't even have that deck anymore. That was stopping by the woods on a snowy evening. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. That was a long time ago. Anyway, final card time. Final card time. Take it as it resonates. If it resonates, if it don't take it. Don't force it. Final card, please. That was quick. That was quick. Why am I looking from the bottom? I was looking to see if another card had turned over, but I'm looking at the card faces instead of the card backs. So I'm looking to see who has their back turned rather than looking to see who's showing their face. And maybe that's another subtle difference. That difference is not so subtle. That difference is environmental. Oh, that makes me, there was a Japanese lesson that I took. Well, I took Japanese. And there was a word for, it's like it was different. Maybe that's like the dake. And there's another word. And it's the context of like, if there are 5 things and like if there are 5 cards and 4 of them are upright, but 1 is face down, that's one word. Or you could say it like 1 out of 5 of these cards are face down. Or you could say 4 out of 5 of these cards are face up. And it was a different word. And the word used communicates the context of the environment. Because I use this word, you know that it's one, like the 1 is in the minority, or you know that the 1 is in the majority. Anyway. Does that make a difference? I don't know. Maybe it's one of those subtle keys that unlock something. Instead of looking for what was face up when everything was face down, I turned the deck over and I looked to see whose back was turned. Didn't find it. So the crone, number 6, and the 4 of water. This is in Roman numerals, 4 and 6 are mirrors of each other, but only in Roman numerals. Just like in Roman numerals, 9 and 11 are mirrors of each other. 5 and 10 are the mirror. So one before reflects one after. Right? It's IV and VI. Was that card number 33? I got to go to the community board and see. When I did the CC11 spiral, I think I used the Quantum Tarot, and it was just the number 6. And I feel like that was that like VIIV energy. Here it is. CA was 6. I was like, is this kavi? Is kavi a word? Cavatappi? Is that like a noodle? CA was number 6. Oh, I didn't count it. I didn't put the number on here. Boo, I cut the numbers off. It's on my desktop. It's fine. Oh, wait. No, here it is. Here we go. It was number 79. Number 79 was CA, which was the VI. It was the first of that third. 6, King of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. Anyway, it's fine. This is weird. This is energy. I do have the Quantum Tarot. It's like version 2, I think, if there's a difference. I've used it a handful of times. I don't know why I thought. I got the Quantum Tarot and the Science Tarot at the same time. I saw an article, it was like quantum teleportation happens. And I was like, what? Like we quantumly teleport and stuff? But it was like data. I was like, okay, well, probably still impressive to somebody, but it's not what I was expecting when I clicked the article. I thought somebody had teleported an apple across from one side of the seaboard to the other. You know, the first transcontinental teleportation has happened, like Alexander Graham Bell with the first phone call. Anyway, it's fine. I do have the Quantum Tarot, yes. It feels like an energy of reflection. Like it feels like the crone is here watching herself go through this dark period for the first time. And then there's like the person looking in the mirror that is most obviously reflection. Maybe this is just a time for us to appreciate, for you to appreciate how far you've come on your own journey, along your own journey. I don't know if something is going to happen that was, is this Aksunare? Kinda, but not really. No. You think you use it in your pick a card? I was gonna, hold up, wait. I don't know. Hold up, wait. Never mind. I'll text you. It's fine. It's fine. Because I was like, oof, I was scrolling my subscription box and I saw a thumbnail. I was gonna be like, Eve, oh my gosh, look at this thumbnail. It is scary. So, I'm like, oh, I'm sure I'm gonna love it, but and I know you like spooky stuff, so I was gonna send it to you. Oh, I'm intrigued to see how you read it. So it's like it's not, what is this? It's kind of like, I don't know if it's necessarily, I don't know if it's necessarily that it's like an I made it moment. It's like it is huge, but it isn't. It's like it's not necessarily like an oxunade, like everything in the world, like your whole life is, but I guess kinda. But no, like kinda, but no. That's the energy of Scorpio season, apparently, from Patrick's vantage point, viewpoint, through whatever I just did. It's like kinda, but no, it's different. And I guess that's interesting coming off of Libra season. But that was the thought. Like the beginning of Libra season, or the one Libra season thought was like, well, aren't these equivalent? Do these not equal the same thing? Are these not interchangeable? And whereas, like, if they might be interchangeable to Libra, they are not to Scorpio. Scorpio is the one that's like, Pepsi tastes nothing like Coke. It's your unrefined palate that has you unable to differentiate the two, but I can. And I can tell the difference between glass bottle Pepsi Coke, aluminum tin can Pepsi Coke, plastic gallon Pepsi Coke. I can tell the difference between produced on over here and produced across the street. To Scorpio, it matters. To Libra, it's like inconsequential, because to like Libra is the scales. Like it balances out. Like they're the same. What are you talking about? And Scorpio is like, again, it's the depth of Scorpio that gives it that opinion. It's the depth of Scorpio that gives it that perspective to know the difference. There you go. But yeah, these are just like, it's a moment of reflection when you realize how much you've grown. And maybe there's a situation that it's like, man, if I would have gotten this opportunity, or if I would have been put in this position before, like it would have triggered this dark night of the soul. Maybe it did at one point, but it's like it would have triggered this dark night of the soul. But now I'm here, still in the daylight. I'm not whatever. And again, maybe that's like, you may be a little beaten. You may feel a little beaten up, bruised, bloody, beaten, and scarred because of the scars and the missing eye. But this could be something that it's like, it's comforting. It's like all of that work was not for naught. It's worth something. It means something, and it means something to you. It's not necessarily money. It's not necessarily a person. It's not necessarily any of those more tangible, egoic things. It's you being able to appreciate that you're better off. Going back to that losing weight example, like maybe you think that you've hit a lull in your weight loss journey and you're not building muscle like you were in the very beginning, but maybe you just climbed up a flight of stairs and you weren't out of breath. And you realize it. You're like, oh my gosh, like I just climbed 3 flights of stairs and I can breathe. I'm not hyperventilating and on the verge of like blacking out from a lack of oxygen, you know? Sorry. And it's one of those things. It's not necessarily like I got a compliment from somebody who's like super attractive, or this person said that, like this person who's ripped, who was my like fitness goals, like just complimented me on my fitness. What? It's like, it's something like smaller, but so much more impactful, almost like Scorpio in some ways is like Big things come in small packages. But it's because of the profoundness of Scorpio. And I know it's like, well, maybe that's their square because Leo is almost this like grandiose like scene, but Scorpio, it's like Leo would be the proposal that goes viral on YouTube, Instagram, whatever. But Scorpio would be the proposal that touches you so deeply that like this person sees me to my core and they love and accept me for who I am. And again, it's not to necessarily compare one against the other because both are appreciated in their own ways. But there's something about the profundity, something about the depth of it that brings forward that, again, it's just like it hits different. And, different strokes for different folks. Some people are really moved by ostentatiousness. Some people are moved by different love languages. Some people's love language is words of affirmation and physical touch. Some people's love language is gift giving and quality time or whatever, right? It's different for different folks. And folks are different. So that's fine. That's better than fine. It's actually preferable for those who appreciate it, for those who that really matters, to have that. And for those who don't care about that, and maybe that takes pressure off of somebody. I don't know. You don't have to be anybody but you. And you may end up with someone who's different from you, right? Maybe your love language is one thing and somebody else's is something else. And part of your learning to love each other is to show your love for each other and the way that the other person really appreciates it, which would also be Scorpio. So anyway, it's fine. Can you tell that Scorpio is in my descendant? Scorpio rules my descendant. I feel like nobody would be surprised. Well, maybe. It's fine. Tiny dancer, dancing for money. Sorry. All right, look through my Libra season was pretty quick. They're going faster and faster. All right, Leaf Rumor. I see Kusma, which is now Mona. The Moon Room. Was that Leaf Rumor? I thought I saw Gutton, but it's Gutton reversed. It was like a stick or something. And I was like, oh, look, it's Gutton. But it was like that. I mean, I guess if you flip it. And runes can be like reversed and upside down and all kinds of stuff. And they mean things that I don't know because I don't know anything about runes. Oh. We got a few cards. Sliding under the laptop is Sun Life Force Sigil number 16. And then flipping over, showing their faces while everyone else has their back turned. Of course, it's you. Sorry I didn't talk about you more, I guess. Bottom of the deck is Haggle, which is Weathering Hail. The three cards that flipped over are, again, our collective title card. Collective Attribution title card. Or the title card of Attribution. Hamfereld, Rainbow Bridge, Bifrost, Journey Home, and Feyor, Fire, Ether, Life. Interesting. This is that like Queen of Fire energy. There's something that's like, oh my gosh, it's the moon. She's staring at me. Speaking of Kusma Mona, speaking of the moon rune, I can see it through the blinds. Looks like a waxing. I feel like a waxing gibbous is like bigger than that. It looks like, what is that, a first quarter moon? Is it a first quarter moon? Are we in first quarter moon energy? I don't know. But it looked like it's about half. Maybe it's more than half. Yeah, it's a little more than half. Because it's gone past on the bottom. On the top, it's like a lemon slice. It's a lemon slice moon. It's fine. If you go outside, you'll know what the moon looks like. If you can see the moon, because it'd be so cloudy here. Sometimes, like full moons, don't even see them because it's so cloudy. Sometimes I do. The last few lunar eclipses, when I've remembered, like I always know, more or less, but on the night I'll forget. But it'll be so cloudy I can't even see it here. And then like 2 hours north of here, I remember one time one of my brothers sent me pictures. Anyway, or maybe I just don't know where to look in the sky. It's fine. This sun life force, it's like sun life force has been concentrated into fire ether life. And it's the turning of the sun life force into fire ether life that produces a beam that is powerful enough to be diffracted into a rainbow bridge to go beyond the veil. So basically, the cards for October coming out again in rune form. But told slightly differently. Because it's like it's the breath that animates the body. It's like if you try to move something with your breath, there are certain ways to to position your lips and your tongue and your teeth to provide a force that is more or less suitable to the task at hand, right? There's the like just general, and then there's the like if you go like you can there's more force if you close the aperture and you push harder with your lungs, it'll like do that instead of just going anywhere. It's like light. It's the difference between a flashlight and a laser. This is a flashlight, this is a laser, and if you put the flashlight through the prism, it's like it, because it's already refracted or because it's already dispersed, the refraction is like wonky. But if you put the laser through the prism, that's when it creates that beautiful, because again, from a single point, well, it's like it all converges to a single point, first of all. But from a single point, as it's converging, it spreads out from there. Rather than it like being this block of light that moves in, because anyway, that's what we got. Hagal weathering at the bottom of the deck. It's like an anti-aging cream, you know. It's inner child healing. When you're a child, you're all full of life and full of possibilities. And then as you grow older and you learn what the real world is like and you wisen up, and it's about reclaiming your inner child. We'll say that. Because if it resonates, take it. I know it's been like 2.5 hours. It's 11:11. Let's see. Where's my phone? I'm trying to show you. It'll be 11:12 by the time I find my phone. Oh, it's right here. Oh, it's 10:11. Wow. My phone is still, or my laptop is still on Eastern time. But I see it. It's 11:11 Eastern time. It's still 11:11 Eastern time, too. Hey, Google, what time is it in Atlanta?
time in Atlanta, Georgia, United States, is 11:11 p.m.
There you go. I am on Central Time. I thought I changed my laptop to Central Time, but apparently I did not. I was like, let me grab my phone to validate that. And then the phone is like, you're an hour ahead. So maybe this reading will be for like, what's an hour in whatever time? November. 11 instead of 10. Maybe it'll be November is in a few weeks. November 11th is still Scorpio season. So anyway, it's fine. I was trying to do something there, but it doesn't matter. I almost got caught. I almost caught myself in that snare because the first thing that Scorpio season teaches us is that it's a maturity thing. It's a growth thing. It's an evolutionary thing. It's not when you turn 18, all of a sudden you make logical, rational decisions. Or it's not when you turn 21, all of a sudden when you turn 25, it's about growth and development. And some people grow and develop quicker, slower than others, but we all do it right on time for us. And with that, thank you all that have been here, spending some time with me, for spending time with me. This has been whatever this is. And I will catch y'all the next time I see you. I go to work tomorrow, so it may be a few days. It may not be. Who knows? What if this is like the last time I go live? That'd be kind of wild, wouldn't it? I mean, I guess it wouldn't be. I've been saying for how long that I don't necessarily see myself doing this forever. I'm like, when this other thing picks up, if this other thing happens, then I might not be live anymore. But I don't know. The last time I tried to go live, it didn't work. That was so interesting. It almost felt, though, at that point and at that time, that like to one path that energy, or to one path those energies, because I tried to basically one path it twice. And it's like there are more paths than one. There are infinitely many paths. So even to under the disclaimer of a general reading, post one would not do the energy any justice. Because Archangel Michael was there with the root chakra. So whatever the divine is working with you intimately, maybe that should have been my Scorpio season clue. Hold up, the moon is looking a little pinkish right now. Or maybe not. Oh no, never mind. I feel like it's clearing up. It looked a little pinky. Like there was a slight tint to it for a hot second. Isn't it a shame that I'm still here, Holly? I'm kidding. At least I get to say goodbye. Or I get to say see you later. But yeah, it was like whatever Archangel Michael, whatever the divine, and maybe not necessarily its purest form, because Archangel Michael isn't God. But Archangel Michael is Archangel Michael, you know what I mean? So whatever like high level, whatever the divine is working with you on with in particular, which again is that energy of like closing the book. We're all going through something different, even if it's similar. But it's fine. Oh, I appreciate it, Janelle. That is very much so appreciated. Thank you for being here. Oh, class site, sorry. That's funny. My mom asked me today. She was like, because when we go to town, it's a campus town. And she was like, do you miss it? She was like, do you miss being a student? I was like, no. I was like, I usually do, but now I make money and I don't have homework. So didn't get paid as much as a student, and I had homework. I do love learning though. Sometimes I kind of do miss it a little bit. But then I'm like, yeah, I also like where I am in life now, so I don't miss it as much, thankfully. But anyway, speaking of school, all right, that is my time. I will catch you all when I catch you. Thank you, Eve and Janelle and 222, I believe, Infinity, and Dottie and Holly and yep, 222 Infinity for being here. I don't think I missed anybody. But if Steph, oh my gosh, and Steph, thank you, especially Steph, and all that you're going through. Thank you all for being here, and I will catch you when I catch you. Take this one as it resonates. Don't ask me. It went there. I just read it as I saw it, as begrudgingly as I kind of sort of wanted to at some points, because I'm like, new Metatron, what? I mean, it's the 144,000 been saying for a hot minute that, something gonna happen to them. Let me stop. Maybe this October season, maybe this Libra season, maybe the Scorpio season is when it happens. If you are part of the 144,000 and I don't see you in Sagittarius season, I'll assume that you got raptured into 5D New Earth and that I got left behind. Anyway, I'm sorry. I know I need to stop. Bye.